ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ, ਨਮਸਕਾਰ, ਆਦਾਬ। ਐਸਐਸ ਟੈਲੀਵਿਜ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਿੱਘਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ 2006 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕੈਰਨ ਰੈਡਮਨ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਕਿਚਨਰ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਤੋਂ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਹਨ। ਕੈਰਨ, ਫਸਟ ਆਫ ਆਲ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਐਸਐਸ ਟੈਲੀਵਿਜ਼ਨ's viewers.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Karen, what are your important concerns for this election?
Well, I'm hearing at the door very much healthcare still tends to be a priority for people in Kitchener Centre, but we're the fourth largest settlement area for new Canadians in Canada, which is really quite striking when you think that the region is only about 500,000 people. So foreign-trained professionals want to be able to have their credentials recognized, and they're very appreciative of the fact that the Liberal government has put money into expediting that. Getting doctors, and again, foreign-trained doctors and new doctors, we've undertaken to have 1,000 new doctors come on stream. Those are the kinds of things that people that I represent are very concerned with.
What are your achievements as a Member of Parliament?
Well, I've been very fortunate. Since 1997, I've had the honor of representing this constituency. I've served for 2.5 years as a parliamentary secretary to the Minister of Environment, and it was during that time that we ratified the Kyoto Protocol, and environmental issues are very important to the people I represent. And as well, I am currently the Chief Government Whip, so I've had an opportunity to talk to all of my colleagues when important votes came before the House, find out what their concerns were and how they were going to vote, and then make sure that when I walked up that aisle when the bells were ringing for a vote, that I knew how all our members were voting.
Today itself, there was a news that Mr. Stephen Harper said that Kyoto will not solve the environmental issues. So how you comment on it?
Kyoto is absolutely a seminal point. It's so important because it's an international agreement, and you and I both know that air pollution doesn't buy a visa to cross an international border. Kyoto is merely one tool in a very large toolkit of several measures we need to take. We've empowered Canadians. We've offered the one-ton challenge. Anybody who's interested in what they can do personally, they can go to the website of Environment Canada and see some suggestions. As well, we have the REAP program, which is an energy-saving audit that people can now do in their homes. We've also, through Industry Canada, supported some local technologies. There are emerging technologies such as solar energy, so that people can now have that in their homes if they want green energy, and that's environmentally friendly. As well, in Waterloo Region, the federal government has partnered with the provincial government and the local municipality to support the light rail transit, and that will be a train line that will go right down to Cambridge from one end of the region to the other. That'll get people on mass transit. It'll keep them from buying that second car, and that's good for the environment.
NDP is accusing Liberals that the environment record of Liberal government is really bad, and it's working against its own principles.
Well, I think that there is no doubt that the environment is a big challenge, but I think in a country like Canada, where we have so much geographic beauty and we have so many riches of the environment, that we're obligated to look after it. We've taken a very holistic view. The Prime Minister announced during this campaign that we would look at protecting and cleaning up the Great Lakes, making sure that we're attentive to the entire watershed, not just what happens in the Great Lakes. And we're working with agencies such as the Grand River Conservation Agency locally to make sure that we're attentive of what's happening up and downstream of our water supply.
A lot of hue and cry is made about the Liberal which was not being broadcasted actually, but it is now broadcasted by many media for discussion involving Canadian soldiers. What do you like to say about it?
I kind of scratched my head that an ad that wasn't released is getting so much airtime. The reality is that every political party hires ad agencies, and they come up with a variety of ads. That was one that was not supposed to be released. I don't think Canadians want to hear politicians yelling at each other. I don't yell at my neighbors over my back fence to solve disputes. I don't negative ad campaign during my elections. I think we have so much to talk about. We have a great record as a Liberal government. I'm very proud of my personal record, and those are the kinds of things that I want to take to my constituents.
Is your mom or dad home?
Not right now.
Not right now? Okay, I'll just leave a flyer here, and if you can let them know that I came by.
Kevin.
Kevin, what's your age?
13.
13. So anybody who is above 18?
18?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk to the person?
All right, hold on.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
What's your name?
I'm Charles.
Charles, which political party you like?
I'm liberal.
You're liberal?
Yeah.
What do you think about same-sex marriage?
I think if the people are okay with that, it's okay.
That's okay for you?
Yeah.
Well, the biggest issue for me in this campaign, clearly for this riding, is healthcare. I mean, that's what's coming up time and time again, and the quality of service at our local hospital. People want to make sure that we expand that. So it's been a big priority for me as a councillor and now as a member of Parliament.
Mr. Mark, Conservative Party has announced a very important thing that if there's a long waiting time for any medical service, the people can go out of the country also, right?
Well, I think that what we don't want is two standards of care. And what the Conservatives will do is they'll create a two-care system. Basically a system for those with money and a system with those who don't have money. For me, we need universal health care. We need health care that stands behind Canadians and gives them the opportunity for equal access to care. That's something I believe in and would fight very hard for, and I don't think we want to go down the two-tier route.
Well, even if when the government is going to pay for that, so then it's not the private system who takes service out of the country, but it's the government.
No, but what we're going to be doing, I think, is sending more and more money to private clinics and out of the country. I think what we need to do is improve public care to make sure that when somebody walks into a hospital here in Canada, that they get the same level of care and that care is the highest level possible. And that's why we've committed $41 billion over the next 10 years to reduce waiting times and improve local care.
Mr. Mark, it will take decades to have new doctors and have new hospitals. But if somebody needs the help today, he needs the medical care today. So for them, their life is more important rather than waiting for years and years.
Well, the reality is that we actually can bring a lot of doctors on stream very quickly. Our plan is to bring 1,000 new physicians by using foreign-trained physicians who are here and paying for their accreditation. We can have those doctors online in a very short period of time. And the answer always isn't doctors. I talked to a number of physicians here in our local hospital. Their issue is space. They only work 3 days a week. They'd like to work more, but there's not enough space for them. So we got to take a solution that's holistic.
What's most important issue for you?
The other issue would be the Pickering Airport, and I fought very hard to protect those lands. There's no business case for that airport, and I've been speaking very strongly against it.
Has made important announcements about Kyoto and missile defense system. What you have to say about that?
Well, the decision by Stephen Harper to say that they would pull out of Kyoto is very disturbing. Look, we've led the world in developing these international agreements. The environment is not something we can go alone. We have to work together with other countries. And we're actually trying to get round two, the new Kyoto. We just had a conference in Montreal, and the idea we would back out of that is ridiculous. Is there any way we can do it maybe a little bit off? Because they got the sun. Okay, yeah. The other issue of ballistic missile defense, the idea that we would join in Star Wars, that we would join with the United States on a program that every scientist say that's completely nonsense, that is going to lead to a weaponization of space, is absolutely ridiculous. Look, we're friends with the United States, but it doesn't mean that we agree with everything that they do. And there's a big difference between being a friend and a servant. And in my opinion, joining the ballistic missile defense system just doesn't make any sense at all. And we should respectfully say, no, I'm sorry, that's something we don't want to participate in. And the Conservatives taking a different position, I think, is the wrong way to go.
What are the dangers for Canada if Stephen Harper becomes the Prime Minister?
Well, if Stephen Harper becomes the Prime Minister, I think we're taking a huge turn to the right. I think we're going to take a role, government is going to play much less a role in people's lives, and we're going to see much more of what we've seen in the United States over the last number of years. High deficits, higher unemployment, less opportunity, a greater divide between the richest and the poor of us. I think that what we need to do instead is to focus on what makes us Canadian, and that's supporting one another, making sure we have an inclusive society and a society where we're all doing well and sharing in one another's opportunity.
What Liberal Party will do to uproot corruption and rhetoric in the government?
Well, if you take a look at the 2005 Public Accounts Report from the Auditor General, she said Canada is now #1 in the world when it comes to the clarity of our fiscal reporting and the quality of our fiscal management. The reality is we have done a lot. We face the challenges, some of the things that have been going on for a long time, and we've said, no, we've got to change it. We've got to do government better. And so we brought about significant reforms, whether or not it's in governance or deputy ministerial and ministerial accountability, and the robustness of our internal auditing measures to make sure that we have not only a good system, but the best one in the world.
There are a large number of South Asian voters in your riding. What you would like to say to the viewers of SS Television, because a large chunk of your voters, they are viewers of SS TV.
Well, to all of the constituents in my riding who are watching, we've had such a great opportunity to work together, and I'm somebody with a proven record. When people come into my office, I work with them. When people come and have concerns, I stand up for them. That's my record. I work with passion, and I work for all the people in my constituency. I'm somebody they know they can count on, and if they give me their continued support, they're going to be proud they did.
Last question quickly. What are your achievements as a member of parliament?
Well, I think if you take a look at the heritage homes that were almost destroyed in Pickering, and I stepped in and was able to save them, the fact that I joined the Cities and Communities Caucus and was able to deliver here for our community $6.5 million for Ajax, $7.5 million for Pickering, and $41 million for the region of Durham. I also was a member of the Public Accounts Committee. In fact, I was vice chair, and to help lead some of the reforms to make sure that we have the best internal auditing procedures and best fiscal accounting in the world, and as well to be part of a government that uplifts people and extends opportunity to all Canadians.
ਜਿਹਦਾ ਨਾਮ
ਜਸਵੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ
ਜਸਵੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਮਾਰਕ ਦੀ, ਕੀ ਰੀਜ਼ਨਸ?
ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟ ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ 'ਚ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਦੇ ਲਈ, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ 'ਚ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕਈ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਈ ਕਮੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਵਾ, ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਰਫੈਕਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੀ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੀ ਕ੍ਰੈਡੀਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਵੇਖਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਰਨ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਸ ਕੰਸਟੀਚੁਐਂਸੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਵਾ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ ਪਿਕਰਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਟੈਕਸੀ ਡਰਾਈਵਰ ਵਾਂ। 6-7 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਮਾਰਕ ਹੌਲੈਂਡ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਵਾਹ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਜੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਮਦਦ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ ਆਊਟ ਆਫ ਦੀ ਵੇ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ, ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਕੰਸਟੀਚੁਐਂਸੀ ਦੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਹੱਕ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇਹਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਇਹ ਮਾਈਨੋਰਿਟੀਜ਼ ਲੋਕ ਆ, ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ 'ਚ ਚੰਗੇ ਭਵਿੱਖ ਲਈ ਆਏ ਆ, ਅਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਫੀਲਿੰਗਸ ਆ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਮਾਈਨੋਰਿਟੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹ ਬੰਦਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਲਾਹੇਵੰਦ ਵਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਉਠਾਊਗਾ, ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ।
ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਇਸ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ?
ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਇਹੋ ਜੀ ਹੈਲਥ ਕੇਅਰ ਜੀ, ਕੋਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਇਕਨੋਮੀ ਨੈਚੁਰਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਵਾ, ਜੇ ਇਕਨੋਮੀ ਚੰਗੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੀ, ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜੋਬਾਂ ਵੀ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ। ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਵੱਲ ਵੇਖੀਏ ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸੁਣ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕਾਫੀ ਕੁਛ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੰਗਾ ਹੋਇਆ, ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ। ਕਈ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਮਾੜੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਵਾ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੰਗੀਆਂ ਜੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 5 ਮੈਂਬਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਫਾਦਰ ਨੂੰ ਕਈਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵਾ, ਬੱਚੇ ਗਲਤੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ ਵੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹੋ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਤੂੰ ਫਾਦਰ ਹੀ ਨਾ ਰਹਿ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮੌਕਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ, ਜੋ ਇਹਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਗਲਤੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੀਤਾ। ਉਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਸਪਾਂਸਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਹੋਏ ਸਕੈਂਡਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅਗੇਂਸਟ ਵਾ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸੇਮ ਸੈਕਸ ਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਖੁਦ ਅਗੇਂਸਟ ਵਾ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਹੱਕ 'ਚ ਕੀਤਾ ਵਾ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਹੱਕ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਦੂਜੀਆਂ 35 ਉਹਨੇ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਨੇ ਠੀਕ ਕੀਤੇ, ਤਾਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਹੇ ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਬੰਦਾ ਗਲਤ ਆ। ਹੁਣ ਆਖਰ ਜੇ ਉਸ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰਦਾ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਆ। ਮੈਂ ਐਜ਼ ਏ ਸਿੱਖ, ਐਜ਼ ਏ ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨੀ, ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਹੱਕ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹ ਹੈਗੇ ਤੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਹੀ ਆ ਨਾ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮਦਦ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿੱਕੋ ਇਹਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਬੜਾ ਬੁਰਾ ਅਸਰ ਪਊਗਾ। ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਵਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਬੁਰਾ ਅਸਰ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਉੱਤੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਬੇਟੇ ਆਹ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਠੀਕ। ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਰੋਕਾਂਗੇ, ਪੁੱਤ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੇਮ ਸੈਕਸ ਆ ਸਾਡੀ ਧਰਮ ਦੇ ਅਗੇਂਸਟ ਵਾ, ਇਹ ਇਨਸਾਨੀਅਤ ਦੇ ਅਗੇਂਸਟ, ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਣ ਦੀ ਦੂਜੇ ਕੰਮਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਕੰਮ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਜਾਰੀ, ਮਾਂ ਬਾਪ ਦੀ ਕੰਮ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਨਾ, ਅੱਗੋਂ ਜੋ ਹੋਣਾ ਉਹ ਤੇ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ।